All right, we're working on the function notation for these functions. Oops, I got to take a quiz first. Let's make sure we do that. Okay. All right, submit. Now we can take it. Function notation and linear functions. Here we go. Question 1. It says this is the 14th easiest assignment. The review questions are from 3.3 to 3.5. Average time is 40 minutes. Watch the video to save 10. Here we go. Wow. Oh, okay. Let's go. Determine the domain and range of these relations. Now, these are relations because if you do a vertical line test, on all those points, you run across the, on all the points between -1 and +1, you run across the graph twice. So the domain, the choices for x's are from -1 to +1. The choices for the range are from -3 to +3, right? Remember, range is the choices for y, domain is the choices for x. It is not a function because the vertical line test, you cross it more than once. Okay, decide whether it is a function. Yes, it is a function because each power is only to the first power, so that's the easy part. The domain is, you got to be careful because x can be anything except where x minus 4 equals 0. So I'll show you the math there. Look at this one and let's see how to solve it. So the first thing we want to do is find out is it a function? Yes, it's a function because each power is to the first, but x minus 6 does not equal 0, so x does not equal 6. Add 6 to both sides. So x does not equal 6 means that we're going to go, yes, it's a function, and the domain goes from -infinity to 6, or from 6 to infinity. And then the range can be any number except 0. So we'll do -infinity to 0, or 0 to +infinity. Number 4. Evaluate the function f of x equals -3x plus 7 at the indicated values. All right, so, oops. All right, let's try it again. So f of 2 is -3 times 2. So instead of writing x, we write 2 in there. -3 times 2 is -6 plus 7 is 1. So f of 2 is 1. F of -5 is -3 times -5 plus 7 is 15 plus 7 is 22. So our answers are 1 and 22. Next one. So now they say let g be x. So we have g of p is -p squared plus 4p plus 1. So all we need to do is to, instead of writing x, write p. So -p squared plus 4p plus 1. Next one. Now we've got f of 6 minus g of 6. So it gets just a little complicated here when we do this. F of 6 minus g of 6. Okay, well, so it's 2 times 6 plus 2 minus negative 6 squared plus 5 times 6 plus 4. Okay, 2 times 6 is 12, plus 2 is 14. Negative 6 squared is negative 36, plus 30, plus 4 is negative 2, minus negative 2 is 16. 14 minus negative 2 is 16. Next one. So, f of negative 1, so if x is negative 1, what's y? It's negative 4. Okay? Answer the following questions. So if you get 1, if x is 1, what's y? Looks like about negative 4. Okay? The domain, the choices for x go from negative 3 up to 5, but not including those. And they show that by these open circles. That means that it doesn't include them. And then, where do you get negative 4? What value of x gives you negative 4? Looks like x is 1. Okay, choose the range. Range goes from negative 7 here up to negative 1, not including those two. All right, number 9. Solve the equation for y. This is one thing that you're going to run into a lot when you have to fill things in on your graphing calculator later on. So the first thing we have to do is solve this for y, and we get, subtract x from each side, and we get 3y equals negative x plus 13. Divide both sides by 3. And instead of writing y, let's write f of x is negative 1/3 x plus 13 thirds. So it'll be, negative fraction 1/3 x, and I forgot, was it plus 13 thirds? Plus fraction 13 thirds. Okay, now we have to find f of 5. So f of 5 is negative 1/3 times 5, which is negative 5 thirds, plus 13 thirds is 8 thirds. Fraction 8 thirds. Number 10. Graph this function. Well, this is in the intercept slope form. So the intercept is positive 1. Delete. The intercept is positive 1, and from there go up 5, forward 1, and that'll be the equation. The domain are all the numbers, and the range is all the numbers. Remember, as long as it's not a horizontal or vertical line, the range and the domain will be all real numbers in a linear equation. Number 11. Suppose a taxi cab charges $1.25 per mile. Fill in the chart with the correct responses. So if they go 0 miles, you don't have to pay any money. If you go 1 mile, you pay $1.25. If you go 2 miles, you pay $2.50. And if you go 3 miles, you pay $3.75. Now that's not a very much taxi. Any taxi I've ever driven has always been $40. They always cost $40. I don't know why. All right, what's f of -2? So if we put -2 in for x, we get 5 for y. Okay, and then if we get f of x is 7, what was our question? Our question was 2. So if the answer is 7, question was 2. What's the slope of the line? Well, I think the easiest way to get the slope here would be to take our 2 points that we have, 5, comma, -2, and, I'm sorry, -2, comma, 5, and 2, comma, 7. Change in y is 5 minus 7 over change in x, -2 minus 2. 5 minus 7 is -2 over -4, which is positive 1/2. Slope is 1/2. What is the y-intercept? Well, so when x is 0, y is 6. Oops. Y-intercept. I'm sorry, so when x is... Oh, type an ordered pair. So it's x is 0, y is 6. It wanted it as an ordered pair. Write the equation, so fraction 1/2, you gotta get the slope, x, plus 6. So we get the slope from here, and we get the intercept from here. And number 13. What are all the possible values of the dependent variable? Dependent variable is the y's. Looks like it goes from 0 up to 2,000. Starts at 0, goes to 2,000. For how many hours is the water level increasing? Looks like 50 hours it's increasing, and 50, and it's decreasing for 25. And how many gallons are in the pool after 60 hours? This is kind of interesting how you figure out this one. Okay, how many gallons are in the pool after 60 hours? Well, here's 25, here's 50, 60 hours is right here, right? And it looks like that would be 2,000 gallons. And that's the end. So if you have any questions, drop me a line.